But at least when we disagreed with the Biden administration, we were like able to say it. You can barely find a Republican who's willing to come out and disagree with the current administration. At least in the House, I mean, a couple senators have come out and talked about the tariffs. I barely can find a Republican to come out and talk about the tariffs. I mean, can you imagine if President Biden did anything that caused the stock market to go down 7,000 points? I mean, they would show like 500 pictures of different basements trying to find out where President Biden is. Okay, you know, there is a lot to talk about of what's going on right now, a lot to talk about, right? And Republicans should feel okay to defend those things. If they believe in them, then they should be able to defend them. But there's not a single committee, subcommittee, or main committee talking about anything that is going on now. It's all backwards. It's all looking backwards. I mean, you know, the president came in and said, we're going to solve the Ukraine war on day one. That hasn't happened, right? That war's still going on. In fact, Putin is the one who just turned down a ceasefire, right? We should be talking about that. We had battle plans, attack plans, whichever adjective, verb you want to use, leaked on Signal. We talk about trust with our allies. I mean, that undermines trust with our allies. We have tariffs. We're tariffing friend and foe alike, the whole world. That undermines trust and credibility. And that doesn't mean that there isn't bipartisan support to try to fix supply chain. As someone who was the emergency management director during COVID, our supply chain is broken. Democrats and Republicans in the Trump administration and the Biden administration spent $8 trillion after COVID, didn't fix anything in the supply chain. And so, yeah, we do need to figure out how to onshore some of our manufacturing back. But the execution of this is crazy. I mean, that's why you're seeing people within the Trump administration fighting with each other in this Peter Navarro, Elon Musk stuff. You're seeing some of Trump's ardent supporters, billionaires, coming out and attacking the administration. Everyone understands we got to onshore jobs, but to tariff the whole world at the same time, to crash the stock market when that was clearly going to be a repercussion, these are things we should be talking about. You know, there was a lot. And you know how I like boards. I bring boards sometimes. You know, when President Zelensky came to the White House, right, to talk about trying to bring the conflict to an end, we heard a lot about what he was wearing. Oh my God, the precious Oval Office. He didn't wear a suit. I mean, here's a picture of Kid Rock in the Oval Office. He looks like he's about to jump over 10 buses, okay, when he's done on the White House lawn. Okay, so like, give me a little bit of a break. Okay, we can put that down now. I think that picture solves itself. But you know, what else are we talking about, right? Oh, Canada, they're going to be the 51st state. I'd love to have a hearing on that, right, to figure out how many people want to make that happen. By the way, if Canada were to become the 51st state, it'd be the last time we had a Republican president. It'd be the last time the Republicans ever controlled the U.S. House of Representatives, because between California and Canada, you'd have a lot more Democrats. We heard that we're all going to vacation in Gaza. I mean, are you guys excited to go vacation in the Riviera of the Middle East? You know, we've been treating Canada and Greenland for the first 3 months tougher than we were treating Iran. I'm glad now that we're focused on Iran. I'm glad that we're moving strategic resources there. It is an opportunity to talk about Iran. But we've been tougher on Europe for the first 90 days than we were on Tehran. And so there are lots of things that we can be talking about, Mr. Chairman, things that we haven't yet talked about, things that Republicans should feel comfortable in defending if they believe in them. But we're going back to hearings we've already had, not just in this committee, but a number of committees. And so that's why we're bringing it up, Mr. Chairman. My time is elapsed, and I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranking Member. We will now go to a second round of questions. I will just state for the record that in order for us to move forward as a nation, we must understand the mistakes of the past. And while this is just our first hearing, I think it is apropos for us to go through the past so that our next hearings can focus on how do we actually resolve key issues. But we did talk about oversight. The role of oversight is also how taxpayer monies, us as good stewards, are being utilized. And I think that we have seen where the offices of DEI utilizing the 2 million and 7 million and 10 million and continuing to go up in numbers, could have been better spent on things that we all care about. Stopping the Iranian regime from nuclear power and allowing it to be a democratically elected free Iran. Stopping Russia's aggression, making sure that it's territorial sovereignty, and stopping China's continuation of its advancement towards a one-nation unification towards Taiwan. So I'm with you 100%, and we all share that sentiment.
I now recognize Representative Moskowitz from Florida for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I want to thank Chairman Lawler and Chairman Mast for bringing this hearing. You know, I have supported for months now giving the Iranians a period of time to end their nuclear program peacefully, or that the United States should end it for them. I've worked with Chairman Lawler on that in the last Congress, dealing with Iranian oil. And in this Congress, Senator Lindsey Graham and I filed a resolution to get a sense of Congress on just that issue. Iran is weaker now than they've been in a very long time, weaker in the region because of Israel's efforts against Hamas and Hezbollah, this administration's intervention on the Houthis. Now is the time. There's no question now is the time to try to bring this to a peaceful solution, right? And that's really up to the Iranians to choose what path they want to go. But I also have to recognize that we're in the 3rd month of the administration. And for 3 months now, the administration has treated Canada and Greenland and Europe and Ukraine and PBS and NPR and the Associated Press worse than they've talked and treated Iran. I mean, 3 months in, they've just noticed all of a sudden that perhaps we should turn our attention to Iran instead of these distractions of, oh, we're going to get Gaza, or Canada is going to be the 51st state, or, oh, Greenland. I mean, this is the opportunity, and it's an opportunity, quite frankly, for the administration that's been very partisan over the last 3 months to do something on a bipartisan basis. But I'm also deeply worried about the vice president. If we look at the text messages on Signal for Signalgate, the vice president seems to be against striking the Houthis. Well, if he's against striking the Houthis, then, I mean, where is he going to be on striking Iran if they don't choose a peaceful solution? Now, obviously, he's the vice president. The president makes the final decision. But if you look at that conversation, a deputy chief of staff had to weigh in from the White House, putting the vice president in his place, saying the president was clear on his direction. And so, let me ask a question. Based on what you've seen, we've all seen publicly in that Signal chat, this isolationist trend that's going on in some, circles of the Republican Party, Ms. Jugman, are you concerned that we may miss an opportunity to really curtail Iran's nuclear program? Because, again, if you look at what the vice president was saying with the Houthis, right, he clearly did not want to do the strike that the president had ordered.
Thank you for that question. I think it is important to look at the efforts that the administration has done over the last 3 months, which includes designations on Iran, its Ghost Fleet, and a refinery in China.
Yeah, but those are meaningless. The Biden administration, and I was critical of the Biden administration of these designations and non-enforcement of certain things. I mean, I was very critical when the Biden administration did not enforce the bill that Mike Lawler and I passed dealing with Iranian oil. And so, we can sign executive orders for maximum pressure, but really, this president is not shy. Right? He's not shy. He tells us how he feels at all times. Okay? And so, it just last week, all of a sudden we turned our attention to Iran, which I'm happy about. Better late than never. But there's something going on in this administration that you should all wake up to, that there is a wing led by the vice president that didn't want to strike the Houthis and probably doesn't want to curtail Iran's nuclear program. How are you going to deal with that?
I don't see that from Treasury right now. I do think that there are efforts being made, and I think, looking at the questions we've received, there's bipartisan consensus to go after Iran, and the vice
Yeah,
president
and
alone
look,
doesn't.
we have to be clear, right? Because Democrats have made this mistake. When you draw a red line and then you don't do it, we see problems. That's what happened in Syria under the Obama administration. So President Trump has drawn a red line. He has said either we're going to end it peacefully, which I hope we do. We all want that, or the United States is going to end it. That's been said now, and that's what we have to hold the president to. I yield back.